welcome to McClendon Studios, Random Thoughts and Observations. I'm your host, David E. McClendon Sr., and this is Kissy in her new hat. I hope you like it. My beautiful child bride made that hat for her. Today we're going to talk about Mr. Henry Ray. Many years ago, well, first of all, I've got to set the scene up for you. My wife, Suzanne, has this intuition about cars. And she inherited most of this intuition about cars from her daddy. Now, her daddy was a very well-known mechanic, even though he didn't work in a mechanic shop. He was a very well-known mechanic that many of the people that he worked with would come to him and have them fix their cars when he was younger. And then later on, he had a 57 Chevy, a beautiful 57 Chevy that he completely restored, and it was absolutely wonderful. Suzanne inherited this intuition from him. He could hear a car and know exactly what was wrong. He could hear a car running and could tell you that the timing was off by minuscule amounts. As a matter of fact, her father was one of two mechanics that I would trust with the brakes on our car. The other one was our head mechanic, not the shop foreman, but our head mechanic at the store. Anyway, when Suzanne and I first got married, Papa Bruce gave her a car, and it was her car. It was still under warranty, and the idea was that she had to have a car because her driving was mission critical. She'd take things to the bank, she'd pick up items for the store, she'd run errands for both Western Auto and Iva Associate Store and McClendon Rental, and so it was very important that she had a good, reliable car. And it was even more important once she got pregnant that she have a good, reliable car. Anyway, my father had found this one car dealership down in Elberton, Georgia. They sold Ford products, Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. And that was the only place my father would buy cars, except for one time, which I'll tell you about in another episode of what happened when he did go to a different dealership. But anyway, this dealership had his complete and total trust. He bought many cars sight unseen. He'd call up Mr. Claude Ray and say, "Send me a so-and-so." And Claude Ray would go out and find whatever it was that came closest to what my father needed and send it on. He bought a couple of different trucks that way. He bought a couple of different cars that way. My father, he trusted Claude Ray. Claude Ray was a good man to deal with. And I think it was his brother, Mr. Henry. I knew him as Mr. Henry Ray. I'm not positive it was his brother. Was in charge of the service department. Well, like I said, it was mission critical that Suzanne have a good, reliable car. And her car was still under warranty, so when she had to have it worked on, rather than take it into our shop, which when she did have situations with cars that weren't in warranty, she'd pull in to the store, and our our head mechanic could hear the car, and he'd reach over as she was pulling up, get a service order, and write in Suzanne's name, and write down what he needed to do to it. And one time the shop foreman said, "I need you to change this oil over here." He said, "No, I got to work on Suzanne's car." And he was the only mechanic that I would let touch Suzanne's car other than her daddy. Anyway, Suzanne had this intuition about cars. She could get in the car now and can tell whether the tire is a pound low. She'll say, "That tire back there, it feels like the tire on the left back is squishy, or the one on the right front is got a problem," and she can tell it just from the feel, and it'll be 1 pound off. And as soon as I fill it back up, she's like, "Well, now it's working right." And she can hear, she can feel. She's like, she has this intuition about cars. There were times when she'd go to take her car to get serviced, and since the car was mission critical that she have a car, that Mr. Henry would make sure that she had a loaner car, and he always tried to make sure that they were reliable loaner cars. And there would be a couple of times, or there was a couple of times, she'd go in, she'd get in one of the loaner cars, she'd get out, and she said, "Something's not right about that car." And Mr. Henry would pull one of his mechanics off of what he was doing and say, "Bruce's daughter-in-law said there's something wrong with that car." And one time the one guy said, "There's nothing wrong with that car, I checked it out myself." He said, "Check it again." And they checked it, and they found out that there was a problem with some of the timing in the car. Another time, he gave us a loaner car, and we had to go down to Atlanta. We told him, "Listen, we need something very reliable to get us to Atlanta and back." He said, "All the cars I give you are reliable. We drove down to Atlanta. It broke down in a very dangerous neighborhood. And while we were down in that dangerous neighborhood, this one guy came up to help us. And this guy seriously looked like he just killed his parents. I mean, he was a rough-looking individual. And he got under the hood of the car, and he went ahead and bypassed what we call redneck engineering. He bypassed the thermostat. We took out the old thermostat and bypassed it, and got the car back running again. And he said, "Y'all get out of here. Y'all don't belong in this neighborhood. Y'all get out." Well, come to find out, we went to stop at my uncle's house a little bit later, and fill the car back up with antifreeze and water again. And as my uncle is there, he says, "Where y'all broke down at, that's a pretty rough neighborhood." And we found out shortly after that that there had been a minor riot in that area shortly after the guy told us to leave. And I don't know what would have happened to us. Nobody died in the riot, but I don't know what would have happened to us. A little while later, Suzanne took her car to the Ford dealership, and Mr. Henry Ray said, "I got a car, a perfect car. It's practically brand new. It's a current year Ford Granada." Took it in. I've had 3 mechanics work on it from head to toe. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this car. It has been checked out. All the hoses have been replaced. All the belts have been replaced. The timing has been set perfectly. It's completely and totally perfect. We've even vacuumed it out. We've checked it from top to bottom. I've had 3 mechanics go over it, and every one of them swears that there's nothing wrong with this car. Now, these are factory-trained, Ford-certified mechanics, and they checked the car out from top to bottom. Well, Suzanne drove it back, and then later that night, she and one of our friends decided that she needed to go to her house to pick up something and bring it back to our house. And so Suzanne and this friend jumped in the car, and they went riding, and the shortest distance between 2 points happened to take them through a less than desirable neighborhood, and the car broke down. Well, the car broke a timing chain. And as anyone knows that knows anything about cars, a car that's still under factory warranty back then, where the factory warranty was 12,000 miles, shouldn't be breaking a timing chain, but it did. And when we called Mr. Henry, he said, "I'll send a wrecker right away," and picked up the car. And after they determined what had happened, he says, "A timing chain broke." He said, "That doesn't happen. That never happens." It wasn't impossible to happen, obviously, but it was very, very rare. Shortly after that, he called my father and said, "If I ever have a car that I'm going to take in trade that I'm the least bit doubtful about, I'm going to have Sudie Lou, your daughter-in-law, drive it." Now, nobody but my father called Suzanne Sudie Lou, but since my father talked about Sudie Lou so much to Mr. Henry thought that was her name, was Sudie Lou. And because that's all my father ever called Suzanne was Sudie Lou. Anyway, he said he even had a sticker in his mind that he was going to put on the car to show that it was Sudie Lou certified as being a reliable car, and he would be able to sell it for top dollar, because if it passed her test, if she didn't find something wrong with it, or it didn't break down on her, that was a perfect car. And we never actually got to the point where he was going to pay her to test out the cars, because my father died soon after that. But he did say that he really had intended to do this, that he really was going to get her to check out cars for him, because if she could drive it and not have a problem, there couldn't be a problem in that car. And that's the story of Mr. Henry Ray and my beautiful child bride Suzanne and cars. To this day, she has an intuition about cars. She can tell it's like she and the car are one. Anyway, if you like this video, then please subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on this blog. Leave us a comment down in the comment box below, or drop us an email to gindysvideos@gmail.com. That's GINDYSVIDEOS at Gindy's, well, you'll figure it out. gindysvideos@gmail.com. GINDYSVIDEOS at gindysvideos.com. Forget it. Don't send us an email. Don't try to contact us. We can't be found. Maybe drop a comment box in the comment box below, because we're never going to hear from you in that email. Gindys Videos, GINDYSVIDEOS, let's see if I get this next part right, at gmail.com. gindysvideos@gmail.com. If you can get an email through, that's great. If not, please leave us a comment in the comment box below, because we ain't going to get that email. Anyway, thank you. This is a Federal Trade Commission required notice. When you click on an advertisement that is displayed with this video, or just before it, we receive a small commission. Sometimes, if you merely watch an ad, we receive commission. If you purchase anything by clicking on links on any of our websites, we receive a commission as well. McClendon Studios is a participant in the Amazon Services LLC Associates Program, an affiliate advertising program designed to provide a means for sites to earn advertising fees by advertising and linking to Amazon.
Suzanne has written a great book of poetry. It is called Shattered. You can find it on Amazon.com.
We also offer you the book How to Pay Off Your Debt. Buy it on Amazon.com.
We have a new book. Many people want to know if homeschooling will work for them. This book may help you answer that question. You can find it on Amazon.com.
On the 18th of August, in honor of my beautiful child bride Suzanne, all of our books will be free. Thank God, this is a good question. But hi y'all. Like my hat. It's a beautiful hat. A very important piece.